All right, so for our open shade shoot, this is the location that I'm going to use, and you can see it's this is kind of our little shed that I made during the summertime. It's like a little meditation room, and it's got lots of old windows and things. And I'm basically at the edge of where the shade is. There's a little bit of like, light coming in from over here, but I'm in an area that's kind of protected from that, so I'm not getting hit with any direct light. And again, if we look out, there's lots of open sky over there in front of me. Although our lemon trees right here, that's kind of blocking the light, but that's okay. So I've got lots of light coming from the front, right, which will kind of keep it all frontal if I'm looking straight across, right? And so what I'm gonna do is we're gonna be setting kind of three directions. We're gonna start with straight on, which will be looking directly towards where our light source is, which is the sky. And then we're also gonna be looking at turning a little bit, which will give us kind of like a loopish sort of a light. You can see I started to get a little bit of shadow here. And then we'll also do kind of like a split lighting sort of a thing. Now, I'm not getting a lot of split lighting right now, even though I'm turned with the sky out there, because I have a big white reflector over here, right? My wall is basically acting as fill. So that's one of the reasons that our black fill might become really helpful as well. So we'll be using each of our reflectors, white, silver, gold, and black, and seeing how and what they're able to do. Now, I don't want to have to hold this the whole time, so we're going to go ahead and do a quick setup for a tripod, right? And we're going to use the basic same idea we did last time with our tripod. I'm going to take a rubber band, I'm going to wrap it around it. Now, I've got some fairly soft dirt here. Right, so there's some dirt. So what I'm going to use to create my tripod is just some sort of a stick. So, I'm just going to use, this is like a little garden variety bamboo stake, which I can put into the ground. And I'm going to use that and attach my tripod. Now, if you don't have something like this, you could go to the park and look for a stick. You could use a shovel and just stick it straight in the ground. Be inventive, find some way of doing your tripod. But again, when we do this, I want to be able to kind of keep that out there a little bit further. I want it to probably be angling a little bit down. So I'm going to kind of put it at a slight angle. So let's go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and take a couple seconds and get that attached. I'm just pressing down gently, but if you don't have like a hammer or something like that readily available, I'm just going to grab a brick. With our rubber band, again, what we're going to do is just kind of do a little crisscross, so that creates that little X, and then I want the X to be on the back side, and that way I can kind of spread these out. And then I can use this to go over our stake that we just put in the ground. And I'm going to use the 2x telephoto, and we'll take a quick look and see how that's going to work. Now, it looks like my thing wants to slip and slide a little bit, so I could, if I wanted to make sure that doesn't happen, I might like twist it, maybe that'll grip better. The other thing that I think is going to be really helpful is to use our remote shutter, right? So I'm going to go grab the remote shutter really quick. All right, so I went and grabbed our remote shutter, and I'm just going to make sure that it's pairing okay. All right, so my framing is generally squared up. I don't know exactly what it's going to look like. So once we get over here in place, let's just take a quick shot and see what that looks like. Yeah, it looks like it's pretty well framed up. I could probably scooch over just a little bit. All right. So at least this way now I can be free to move around and do stuff. I can, do the shutter release and not have to hold the camera.